Hello YouTubers, welcome to Projects with Bob. I found an archived video of me making this ring, which I have currently upside down, for my forge. I thought maybe you might be interested in that other project. It's the first video that I made, and the quality is not as good as some of the newer ones, but I hope you enjoy. The only problem with the forge is, and when I'm putting things in it to heat them up, they have a tendency to fall out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a plow disc here, and I'm going to cut a hole in the middle of it. I'm going to set it on top of the forge. But before we do that, we're going to cut this lip down here with a grinder, and then that way I'll have something to center it with, and then we'll put a piece of metal on the edge, so I can not only have places to set the metal on, but it'll also help me control the coal as it keep it from falling out so much. So we'll show you bits and pieces as I make progress here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel. We're gonna go up here and I'm gonna cut this first lip off a little bit at a time, all the way around this thing. And remember, keep your guards and your glasses safety first. We want to be doing this for many years to come. Okay, so we've got our ring cut off. Turned out nicely. And it's about the thickness of this plow disc. So eventually it's going to look like this. This plow disc will be on top of here with a nice hole cut in the middle of it, and that'll give me a lot more working area. Now the trick is, what are we going to do? I got to cut a hole in the middle of this thing, but I want a nice neat hole so it fits that nicely. So I happen to have some nails and a hammer and an old bench. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock this thing down to the bench. Then I'm going to use a couple of scrolls, clamp them together, an old tent spike, mount that on here for my point, and a piece of soapstone and mount it here, and we're going to draw a circle. Now we've got our disc secured to the bench, we can center it and draw a circle in it. So we got to know what size circle it is. So we're going to measure the inside lip, and it's 9.5 inches. Well, I don't need that. I need half of 9.5. I need to know what the radius is. So we're going to do it the easy way. We're going to take the one end of the tape measure, fold it over to 9.5, and then we can look in here and we can see that, yes, half of 9.5 is 4 3/4. So now we're going to set the protractor up at 4 3/4 inches. This is our homemade protractor out of 2 scrap pieces of metal, some soapstone, and an old tent peg. So we're going to set that up at 4 3/4 inches, and we're going to draw a circle. Back again. Okay, so we have our disc secured to the bench, so I can have a center point because, well, it's a big square hole and I can't use a protractor there. Have our homemade protractor secured, and here we go. Draw a nice circle all the way around here. Isn't that beautiful? All from scrap materials. And if we measure edge to edge, 9.5, and center to the line, 4 3/4. Just exactly where we want it. Now I'll grind out that center using the safety goggles and the grinder cutting wheel, and we'll see how we end up. Well, it was pretty noisy, so I had to put my hearing protection on too. But, oh, yeah, that's better. Alright, well, not much left of my cutoff wheel, as you can see, but now we have a hole. Not quite to the line, so I'm going to change bits. I'm going to put a regular metal grinding wheel on here. put my earring protection back on, and we'll finish grinding this back to the edge of the hole, and we'll see how it fits. Whew, that is over with. Alright, well, let's see if it fits. Hey, it's a nice round hole anyways. And perfect. I can even almost lock it in. Okay, so it's nice and level. So when I'm heating up my stuff, look at that. Now I can heat it up and don't have to worry about it. The only thing I like to do is add an additional ring around the edge of this, just to give me a little extra chance of not getting the coal outside. So we'll go in the shop there and we'll roll us a nice ring, and then we'll weld it to this. Okay, we're in the shop here, and we're going to build a ring out of this 1¼ inch mild steel, just to provide a ledge that you know, coals and stuff won't fall out. So we're going to take the tape measure and measure the diameter, which is 20½, and we'll take the original solar powered calculator. Solar powered because, you know what, without sun you can't use it. Without any light it won't work. So pi times 20½ is 64 and a little less than half, so we're just going to call it 64½. We have to add 2 inches on each side for the roller, so we're going to make it 68½. So we'll start off with that, and then we'll roll a ring. Alright, so we've got our roller. It's really made for 1-inch material, but you know, we're going to cheat a little bit. We're going to use it for 1¼ inch, but we're going to kind of be easy on it, so I'm not going to pull real hard on it. And so we'll run it through here. One time. And we'll get a full turn, half, 3/4, and 1. Come back, and as you can see, we're starting a nice little curl there. Turn here, and we'll head on back the other way, except I flipped it over because it has a tendency to bend one side more than the other, because it's really not made for this type of material. But as you can see, the curve is coming in nicely. Probably one more turn, or one more half a turn, and we'll be where we need to be. I think we'll just do another half a turn here, and we'll come back. Let's see where we're at. 22. Well, you know, that's pretty close. A little more. We'll give it another quarter turn here, and that should. Well, it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. It is. Oh, that's much better. Make a small wagon wheel like that. That would be cool. Well, the light looks different now because we've been visiting with friends, and so we had a little break, so the light's really streaming through the window. But anyways, back to work. We've got our ring that we made before, and I'm stitch welding it around the outside of this ring so I can have a nice little lip And as you can see, well, you know what? Pi times diameter still works. Shocking. So we've got a little overlap because it doesn't. This is a little flat here, and this is a little flat here, and then we'll cut them off, and we'll make a slot here, and we'll make a slot here. That way, if I have a long piece, I can put it all the way through the forge. Okay, so we're all done welding, and I've taken my cutoff wheel and I've cut 2 slots in there. So if I have a piece that's longer than what this is, I can just stick it right through the middle of the forge and on out the other side. So if I'm making, want to bend something in the middle or whatever. But so stitch welded all the way around. Still hot, you can see. And then we'll take it outside and we'll fit it on the forge. Okay, and there we have our finished product. It's the forge, brake drum forge with something to help control the coal and something to lay the rods in that we're going to be forging and that type of thing. So, there we go. It's finished product. Oh, finally ready to start the forge here, and then we got the coal and got my flint and steel here. We'll light off this fat wood here, which works real good as a fire starter. And we'll put some coal in here. Turn on the fan. We can get some fire going here. More coal. So there you go. We'll get it started here, and we'll come back and see how it's doing. Okay, well, now that the forge is going good, you can look in here and you can see the charcoal is, the coals are really red hot. It's doing pretty well. There's still some sulfur and things like that burning off because it's not a really clean coal. But once we get all the sulfur and all that burned out, there won't be any flames, and it'll just be red hot work, and it'll have turned into coke at that point.